All right, welcome back. The ride is coming, and it's happening Sunday, September 10th, a very, very important fundraising event in our region. With us right now is Pam Bechervaise, who's a participant with the ride. How are you, Pam?
I'm well. Thanks for asking.
Wonderful to see you. And, of course, Stephanie Sothcott as well.
Yes.
You're a group ride leader. You're also with Bushtukah
Yes, I am.
on Richmond Road.
Yes.
And you're doing well.
I'm doing well.
Good.
Thank you.
Awesome. How many years has the ride been around for at this point?
The ride's been around for 8 years.
8 years?
Yep. This is going to be my first year participating, so I'm a bit of a rookie at it.
That's okay. So how many kilometers are you going to be biking?
Well, I'm currently signed up as a virtual rider, which is a new thing for the ride this year. So what they've done is they've created an event where people that are a little bit unsure of if they're going to be able to do a 50K or 117K, that they can go and they can do this in a spinning class, or they can do this on their bikes at home, or they can do this with the kids. I went out there and I thought a virtual rider is probably the best for me because I'm not great with a bike, to say the least. So what I decided to do was to sign up for the virtual ride, but then I got out on my bike, completely loved it, fell in love with biking, fell in love with this city and the infrastructure they have for biking, and decided that on September 10th I'm going to try and do the 50K route. Okay, that's amazing, because I think 50K or 117K is a lot, so I think a lot of people are probably taking the virtual side of things. Probably a safe bet. That's what I would do. Pam, tell us as well, obviously you've got a very important story as to why you're participating in the ride. Yes, so next week will be actually the 3-year anniversary of my diagnosis of breast cancer. And so really this is a very meaningful way for me to give back to the hospital. From the start, the hospital, it's been my home base for my cancer care. They're the ones that they organized all of my treatment, they coordinated my surgeries, they made sure that they always had time for me, and my medical oncologist has always been there helping me to stay as healthy as I possibly can. So my medical oncologist also just happens to be a medical researcher at the Ottawa Hospital Research Institute. And in the last 3 years since I've started having treatment as one of his patients, I've seen the impact that his research has had on my care. And cancer care is changing rapidly, and we really need to be encouraging people to support cancer research, and that's why I'm giving back in this way for the ride.
And how are you feeling?
Pretty good. I did 50K yesterday.
Did you really? Beautiful day for it.
Well, hot. But 6 weeks ago, I had never really been on a bike before, other than as a kid. And yesterday was like 50K, so it's like, wow. Incredible. I'm super happy, and I'm super happy to be able to get out there and do that for the ride.
Stephanie, of course, being part of Bushtukah, I mean, you've got people covered when it comes to the proper gear that they need for this long trek that some people are taking part in. So you want to show us some of the stuff you brought in?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's always good to keep in mind for a longer distance to stay hydrated, especially if the weather is warm. So we have, obviously, take a water bottle. Some electrolytes are always handy. There's a couple of different options that you can take. So there's Noon Active. There's also a powder, so it's good, full of electrolytes, some energy, a little bit of sugar. Just keeps you going when you're out on the road. Also very good to be prepared in case you have a flat. That being said, I know that there's going to be lots of support on the ride, but it's good to carry a little pump, little patch kit, tube as well, an extra tube, make sure it's the one that fits your bike. To take with you, some tire levers, and often people carry a little pouch to put everything in behind the bike. So
it's not a fanny pack though, is it?
No, it's absolutely not.
Just making sure,
Yes.
And obviously, I mean, the proper gear as to what you're going to wear, because if it is going to be a hot day, because September can still be quite warm.
Exactly.
It's very important.
Exactly. So a good pair of cycling shorts is going to be something that's going to make everything a little bit more comfortable. It's got what they call a chamois on the inside. So nice bit of padding. Yeah.
It's good to have padding because you
never know. It's good to have padding. So right on that saddle, when you're sitting there for 2-3 hours, you want to be comfortable.
You definitely do.
And sometimes you need a little wind jacket as well. This one here has sleeves that you can remove to make into a vest.
Okay, so people should obviously be they're preparing their bikes right now. They're making sure they're checking. So what's the proper way to check your bike to make sure everything's fine?
So it's always good to make sure that the gears are in tune, because nobody likes gears that are not in tune because they are very noisy.
Okay.
It's also good to make sure that you lubricate your chain. So make sure it's nicely lubricated for the long ride. Make sure it's clean.
Yeah.
Said often, clean bike is a happy bike.
So could we take our bikes into Bushtukah perhaps
Absolutely.
and have a check, because
Yeah,
it's got to be
we
safe
can get
out
them
there.
all checked up and ready to go.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that was the top 3 things then you should check out, because you
Yeah.
have sort of like a checklist of like, so you should make sure the chain is nice. You know, I forget the other 2.
You make sure your chain is lubricated, your gears are ready to go,
Yeah.
and your tires are pumped up
Good.
to the
That's
right
good.
PSI.
Those are good
Yes.
life lessons right there. Things you should
Absolutely.
always be checking.
Yes.
And tell me as well, Pam. I mean, what are you most looking forward to doing September 10th?
I love biking, and I know I've said it already, but I'm actually really looking forward to crossing the finish line.
I bet.
Not so much because I'm worried about being exhausted, but actually because this is, as a cancer survivor, this is sort of a big personal milestone for me, both in the fundraising and in also being able to do the 50K. So it's the idea that I'm going to cross that finish line and be surrounded by supporters, like this big, huge community that's based around the hospital, and these cancer researchers that have been working so hard to make sure that I'm healthy and that I have, a very good outcome.
Okay.
And being surrounded by them while I meet this personal milestone it's I think the perfect way to celebrate the day.
Beautiful. Well, we wish you all the best. And maybe you could just keep biking, do the 117. You start feeling good, right?
If I have 12 hours.
Okay. Pam and Stephanie, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And of course, the ride is coming on September 10th to help out the Ottawa Hospital Foundation. We have much more daytime coming up on Rogers Television. Paula Roy joins us in the kitchen next.